Boom. Hey, internets. I got a good question here that was emailed to me from Jimmy, but relates to everyone on the channel. So, how do I get into small doors of retail? How do I get my brand into small doors? But I'm going to title this video is titled differently because I want to back up and make sure that I attract people who are asking a couple of questions surrounded around the answer to this question. So there's two things that are super important that you could do before you even make any product for your clothing line, and I talk about it a lot, and so in more so in answering the question, and so maybe I could preempt or have people do more pre-planning for their brand before they actually come to the part of designing and making their first product. So along with creating your logo and trademarking the name or whatever that is that's going to be the name of your clothing company, marketing and sales are super important and are more important as this is post-dating, as you're watching this. It's more important in this age because the way people are buying and selling is completely different than the way people are doing it 5 to 10 years ago. I'm saying not even 10 years ago. People were doing it completely differently than now because people are investing more in experiences than material things, and that definitely includes fashion in almost in a category altogether is an accessory. All right, like if we really need covering for our body, you could probably go to Walmart and get a package of white tees and get a cheap sweater. The basic need of covering the human body is very, very affordable. And so when we get into style and all the way up to premium and luxury items, it really is more so purchases that are made via lifestyle. So having said that, when you're communicating to the people who you think or you know are going to buy your product, you got to get a way to get at them before you actually have the product. So my tip for this one is, number one, start your social media ASAP. And even so, when I say social media, obviously Instagram, Facebook is still really strong, and then any others that you want to start from there. Twitter, there's a lot to be said about other social medias, but I'm gonna say Instagram and Facebook in that order at this time that I'm recording this. If you're watching this a couple of years from now, there might be another platform that's more important, so make sure you look at the date of which you're watching this video. But even if you don't do a clothing line and you gain a following, you could just change the handle or change the Facebook is a little tough to change the Facebook group name, but your Instagram handle, at least you could change the name of that into whatever business venture or however you pivot whatever you're doing into something else. So there's no real loss there, at least. So get your social media ASAP, because that's going to give you an audience and some sort of background when a shop looks at you and says, well, let me look at you guys on the web besides your website, which you can start the week of your clothing company. The second thing is networking with local retail and afar. I mean, if you're able to, if you're in California and able to meet retail in New York, or go to the trade shows and meet a bunch of retail there, that's one of the best tips that I have, is go to the trade show initially, not to show your brand, but to just network, get business cards, get contacts of people who own shops. Now, I'm saying that as if it's simple, and it's not. There needs to be a lot of strategy. You need to be very, very good about not showing that you just want them to try to push your line in their shop, which is what you're going to do. But what I'm saying is you need to look at these as relationships in business that hopefully you could bring value to the equation. The number one way to attract them is for you to have a value proposition, rather than you always asking for something like, hey, once I develop my brand, can I sell it in your shop? But to even get to that point, you got to know who you're talking to. So get to know the people who you might sell the line to once you have a line sheet put together of your first capsule of clothing. And so locally, though, you could definitely find at least 3, 4. You should be, I mean, depending where you live. I'm thinking of a more metropolis city that has the kind of retail that you might want to go to. But if not, whatever surrounding, try to find 3, 4 to 10 retail shops and make contact with them. Come in and I interviewed a veteran in the game, and when they were starting their brand, they did a pizza tour where they brought in pizza for all the retail staff at a shop just to get to know them and get to talk to them, and then they'd give them free promo shirts so that the people working at the shop would wear their stuff and it wouldn't be available. So that's one idea. In the past, there's a million ideas if you really kind of thought of maybe gifting or like just trying to create rapport in a way that can be meaningful for your brand when you're ready to actually launch. So get your social media started ASAP, start networking and meeting the people. That way it's not kind of a cold meeting when you just first meet them just to push your product, because it's the number one way for them to lose your phone number or your contact forever. Because you obviously just want one thing from them. And so if you can be more of a warm contact in your warm market of people, and you've had conversations where you just talk about brands or talk about things outside of it, maybe you both love soccer, or as we say around the world outside of the US, football, or maybe you both love fans of the local basketball team in your city, etc., etc. So they're real people, so you want to talk to them as people first and garner those relationships. Hope that helps. If you have any other questions, drop it all down below. Follow me on social media when you have the chance. I'll see you guys on the next one. Bye.